And now, once again, from our family interview area, brought to us by Dynamic, it is Joni Smith.
Well, thanks, gentlemen, so much. Addison, Cara, and Aspen are all here. We have part of the Tarrence family. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Good to see you guys again.
You too.
Hey, Addison, how are you feeling?
Good.
Good. It's good to see you. Tell us about these designer T-shirts. I didn't have a chance to put mine on yet. Tell us about the T-shirts that you designed.
Well, every year we sell T-shirts to family and friends, and then the proceeds from the T-shirts go to a different organization. Sometimes we donate it to Cure SMA, sometimes we donate it to MDA, sometimes we donate it to Children's Miracle Network. We kind of spread it around to all the different organizations that Addison has benefited from in some way or another. And Addison always designs them. She picks out the T-shirt color, the color of the lettering, and this year we are just very sparkly with our holographic.
Well, would you call this periwinkle? What would you call this color?
Addison?
Addison, what would you call this color?
Light blue.
Light blue. Okay, there you go. That's perfect. And this is not glitter or sparkles. What did we decide it's called?
It's holographic.
Holographic. It's holographic. Well, you did a wonderful job. And if people want to get a hold of one, what do they do?
Well, these are the ones that we sold this last spring.
Okay.
So this coming spring,
Okay.
she'll pick a whole new T-shirt design.
Okay, we'll be watching for that.
Okay.
All right, 12 years old, Miss Addison. Yep. How's school going?
Good.
Okay. What grade are you in?
7th.
In La Crescent?
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite teachers are?
My social studies teacher and my English teacher.
Okay, maybe they'll call in a pledge, do you think? I think I heard a great-grandma call in a pledge. Was that correct?
I heard one of the ladies answering the phone say Grandma Benson, which would be great-grandma.
Well, let's hear it for the great-grandmas. There you go. It's 608-784-KIDS 5437, always supporting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. We've been together for a few years talking.
Yeah, quite a few years.
Yeah. How are things?
Things are going pretty good, actually, yeah.
So we've actually had some new news with Addison and maybe some treatment that's helping.
Yeah, so Addison has been getting a new drug called Spinraza, and it's not a cure, but it's a treatment. Every 4 months, she goes up to Mayo in Rochester, and they inject this into her spine. And the idea is that it will halt the progression of her disease where it's at.
And what is her disease called?
So Addison has spinal muscular atrophy type 3.
Okay, and what does that do to your body?
So SMA basically is like ALS but in kids. So over time, her muscles become weaker and weaker, and luckily Addison has a least severe form. Most children who are diagnosed with SMA don't live beyond the age of 2.
When did you notice something was going on?
About 15 months, I noticed that Addison didn't walk like the other kids. She kind of wouldn't go up and down stairs. She would fall all the time. And so I questioned if there was something going on that maybe we needed to look into. And her pediatrician kind of told us, kids are clumsy, really don't worry about it.
Right.
But it just kept getting worse and worse. And so when she would fall repeatedly, just standing, it wasn't like she was running and tripping. She was literally just standing there. I decided to call the University of Iowa Hospital myself and took her there on my own intuition to find out what was going on.
At that point, you guys were living in Iowa.
We were living in Iowa, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And so we went, and they gave us some different exercises to do with her. We did that for a couple months, went back, no change. And the doctor's like, I just feel like there's something I'm missing. So he asked for the head of the neurology department to come take a look at her. And she told Addison to sit on the floor and then to get up. And Addison did it in a very awkward way where she would spread her legs wide apart and then almost use her hands to crawl up her legs. And they looked at us and said, I'm sorry to tell you, but she has some sort of muscle disorder that actually is called the Gower maneuver. There is actually a name for the way that she is getting up.
You have a whole new vocabulary
Yes.
that is with you and in your life and in your family.
Yes.
So at that point, how do you digest that news?
So, I mean, that part in itself was devastating.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we need to figure out which muscle disorder she has. And I'm like, okay. So they started doing all these tests. And mind you, she wasn't even 3 yet. So it's very hard to watch your young child getting all these tests done. But finally, they were able to run some blood work, and the blood work can determine whether or not a child has SMA. And we got the notice on January 5th of 2010, a couple months before her 3rd birthday, that she did in fact have SMA, which was devastating. And at the same time, we found out it's genetic, which we didn't know we were carriers. And I had another child who was 8 months old. So not only was I devastated because my daughter had this disorder, but then I immediately questioned if my baby had that as well. So we had her blood drawn right away as well. She does not have it. She could be a carrier, but we don't know.
So that must have been a long time waiting for the test to come back. Didn't it seem like for a
Well,
long
it felt
time?
like forever.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
about 4 weeks. I feel like they knew around Christmas time, but probably let us get through the holidays
Right.
because they drew the blood in November. But I think the hardest part was not knowing how it was going to affect her. They can't tell you she's going to walk forever. They can't tell you she's going to stop walking at this age. They just said that she probably would not walk any later than like elementary age. And Addison walked until she was about 8. The last photo I have of her actually standing, she was 8 years old.
Children's Miracle Network hospitals, had you heard of them? How, did they contact you? How did that start? How did that part of it start?
So I had heard of Children's Miracle Network. We really didn't have a lot to do with them in her early years. I think we kind of were just moving through life in a blur, and we relied a lot on other families to kind of lead us and show us the way. But when we moved to La Crescent in 2013, we started doing our doctoring here at Gunderson. And part of her care is that she has to go to neuromotor clinics every so often. And one of the social workers from Gunderson came in and was like, hey, Children's Miracle Network, you can apply for grants with them. They'll help cover costs of equipment, travel, programming, anything you might need. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, then she decided maybe she wanted to try horse therapy,
Sure.
which we had never done before.
Right, right.
And it's amazing. It's awesome. She's been doing it now for, I don't even know how many years. I think she's rode every single horse they have there because she's been doing it for so long.
Do you have a favorite horse, Addison?
No.
You love them all?
Yeah.
Really important program to help you out? You
Yeah.
love it?
So we looked into it, and it's not cheap to do horse therapy, which I understand. It takes a lot to pay for the horses, pay for their food. Most of the people that are there are volunteers. It's not like they're paying for, to run the program itself costs a lot.
Yes.
So we applied to Children's Miracle Network, and I think for like the last 5 years, they have paid for part, if not all, of her horse therapy at Horse Sense.
Probably wouldn't happen without that.
Definitely not, and definitely not as often because they do different sessions. So she's been able to participate in multiple sessions per year, which is amazing for her core. She was falling out of chairs. She was losing muscle tone in her middle section. It was hard for her just to sit. And since she's been doing that, that's gone away. Tremendous change in how she sits taller, which is amazing.
It is really amazing. You know what else is amazing? Guess how many calls we have right now, right this very minute? 31. We have 31 calls, 32 calls that have come in now. 33 calls that have come in. It's 608-784-KIDS, 5437. How many great grandmas and grandmas do you have?
A lot.
A lot. Well, and friends and family as well, and folks who are giving with their heart, listening to what's happening with Miss
Uncle
Addison.
Zach.
Oh, there's another family member. There you go.
Yeah, we have really good family and friends, and not only that, but really good community members that have really supported Addison and a lot of different things that she's done. She's had great staff at the schools in La Crescent, so she's got a lot of people in her corner cheering her on.
You know, and I think sometimes that people don't really understand when you get all tied up and you think, oh, geez, I got to stop at the grocery store. It's going to take me an extra 10 minutes. What's it like when you get ready to go do a project or do just an errand?
Everything takes so much longer, doesn't it, Addison?
I'm sure it does.
And sometimes we joke because, yes, Addison's SMA makes things a little more complicated. We move a little bit slower. It takes us a little longer to get out of the car. It takes us a little longer to get ready in the morning. It takes us a little longer to go places. But we joke with Addison because I think if Addison didn't have SMA,
Yes.
she would still be so slow.
Well,
She just moves at a turtle's pace.
well, and I was listening to you guys this morning saying, yeah, Mom woke me up at 8 o'clock.
I
well,
know. Which
you know,
normally it's like 6:15.
I was going to say, that's sleeping in, isn't it?
Right.
But you're right. Just moving at your own pace.
Right.
That's what makes Addison Addison. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I cannot believe how these calls are coming in at 608-784-KIDS, 5437. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Radiothon, visiting with Cara and Aspen and Addison. What's Dad doing today?
So Dad's working today. He's probably listening. So why don't you say hi to
Hey,
your dad?
Dad.
He's probably listening to the radio with Uncle Zach. They work together. So
Yeah. Yeah, we're up to 34 calls. Okay, Josh, wish you could be here. Miss you, buddy. But, you know, keep that. Who's he working with? With his...
Uncle Zach,
With
who
Uncle
just
Zach.
called in, so they must be listening.
Oh, there you go. They know that phone number, 608-784-KIDS, 5437. So what's next for Addison?
So the really cool thing is Children's Miracle Network is actually doing something different for Addison this year
Really?
that we've never done before.
Tell us about that.
Do you want to tell them what you're doing?
What
this
are you
year
up
that's
to?
new?
Sled hockey.
Sled hockey. You know what? I think next hour, if I remember right, I think we have some hockey people coming back. Let me just take a look here and see what we have. Cooley Region Chill Hockey Team. Is that right, you guys? They're coming back for another session? Okay. And you know what? They're really cute. They're really cute. Well, they are. They're very cute.
So we know one of them that's coming to answer the phones next hour.
Okay,
so La
who's coming?
Crescent, if you're listening, Lucas Weezer is going to be answering the phone during the next hour. So
Okay.
make him
All
work.
right. Okay, so tell me about the hockey program for Addison.
So the Cooley Region Sled Hockey, which is actually the Frost, is their name.
Oh, of
you
course
know, to
it
go
is.
with the chill.
Sure. I get it.
And they've been, I think, around for 4 years now, and they've been trying to get Addison to try it out.
Okay.
But for the first couple of years, Addison was just a little too girly for hockey, she
Well,
thought.
she's a girly girl.
So she would
Yeah.
look at Dr. Winterstein like she had 3 heads when she would ask her if she was going to play. But last year we went to a hockey game in La Crescent, and she's like, I think I might want to try it. So she's been to 3 practices now. She really likes it. She plans on sticking with it for the season. It's pretty cool.
So tell me about the sled. What's that all about?
So the sleds are really neat. She sits in it, and it's like a bucket, and then like a contraption that her legs fit into, and we strap down her feet, and we strap down her knees, and they're in full pads. And we strap in her waist and her upper legs so she can't tip, out of the sled.
Sure.
But underneath of it is blades, like actual skate blades. They are the actual size of a regular skate. And then the hockey sticks are almost like cut in half with little pokers on the end. And so they poke the ice to make themselves move, and then they use the stick, to hit the hockey puck. It's pretty cool. Some of them have pushers, like there's bars on the back of the sled.
Right.
So different people in the community come and volunteer, and they will skate behind, pushing the kids around that need help. And It's amazing. It's really cool to see a whole team of these kids playing hockey together.
Addison, aren't you glad now that you went to see what hockey is all about?
Yeah.
Well, good. So when's the next practice coming up?
Monday.
On Monday. Okay, well, that's something to look forward to.
Oh, yes.
That's a good thing.
Every Monday and every Saturday.
All right, so we're at home listening, finding out about Addison. People are trying to make the decision to pick up the phone and call. What would you say to them?
I would tell them this money that is donated to CMN helps so many families and so many kids in the Cooley region area. It's amazing when you have so many other things to worry about, to not have to worry about everything. Children's Miracle Network will step in. They will help cover costs of programming and travel and meals. And I can tell you from experience, there is so much that you are stressed out about. Knowing if you have enough money to make things happen for your sick child is one of the worst feelings.
It's got to be.
It's a horrible feeling. And even now that we've been dealing with it for years, it's still, you still get that same feeling. You still get that same pit in your stomach. It's just nice to know that there are people in the community that care. I just can't even say what it means to people.
Well, I can say right now, John, where we were at 36 right now, and we're shooting for 40 calls while we're having our
That's
visit
crazy.
together. It is wonderful. It's 608-784-KIDS. The generosity of this area is just amazing. Family, friends. Now, you decided you all were down in Iowa to come up here if family was around?
Right. So I grew up in La Crescent and moved away after college, and that's where I met my husband. And we were living in Iowa when Addison got diagnosed, and the University of Iowa was great. But as Addison became older and her needs became greater, it was harder for us to let other people take care of her. And I couldn't just call a child babysitter to come over. So a lot of times my mom, who's a nurse here at Gunderson, would actually put in PTO time and come down 4.5 hours to sit with my kids because I had to go to work. Or when Addison was sick and couldn't go to daycare and I needed to go to work, Grandma would use her own time to come down and help. And the other part of that is La Crosse has great adaptive programming for people in the community who need it, adults and kids. There's so many programs, Addison can't even do them all. And where we lived was kind of rural Iowa. And so for us to go anywhere for that kind of program and activities was about an hour drive one way, which just isn't feasible during a weekday.
Right.
So not only did we move up here and we have some family help, but Addison has so many opportunities up here to be just like a regular kid.
Well, isn't that what you want?
I think that's what every parent wants.
I think it is too. And your family support never stops. It's right here, and so is the community at 608-784-KIDS 5437. I've lost track. I have no idea. How many calls have come in, John? We're 37, and we're looking for 40. So 37 is what we have. See what you can do about making that phone ring at 608-784-KIDS. Addison, you think people should pick up the phone and make another pledge?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just know what we're going to do is keep our fingers crossed. And we know those calls are going to continue to come in. And now we're at 38. We only have 2 to go. It's 608-784-KIDS. 2 more calls is all we're waiting on for this very minute. It's 608-784-KIDS 5437. And making that donation, you just don't know. You just don't know if it's going to affect your family, your neighbors. You don't know. Tomorrow's another day, and you're just not sure.
You really don't. You have no idea. And just talking to people in the community, I think everybody's affected by something. Somebody in your family has been affected in some way or another by something tragic, or you know somebody that's been affected by something tragic. This is something so easy that you can do, and it doesn't need to be a big dollar amount. Every little bit helps. It all adds up. I think anybody can give up $25.
Somebody just did. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that. And I know there's a bunch of people on their lunch break right now. Go ahead, pick up the phone quick. call in, make that donation.
There's a 120 club member, and what that is, it's $10 a month for 12 months. Now, chances are, I know budgets are tight, but chances are somewhere along the line, you might be able to come up with $10 a month.
I would assume so.
I think you could. It's 608-784-KIDS, 5437. That's the phone number to call. Also, CMN Hospital's Radiothon.com. You can text CMN Kids to 51555. As we're waiting on this countdown, we need 2 more calls. It's 608-784-KIDS, 5437. So, Addison, what's coming up this winter? Is there any camps you guys are going to be doing? Have you planned that far?
What are you doing besides hockey this winter?
Yeah, what else
What
is happening?
starts at the end of the month?
Swimming.
Swimming.
Oh, and where does swimming, where do you go? To
Logan.
Logan.
Yep, it's through the YMCA.
Okay.
And they have an adaptive program on Wednesday nights where kids in the community with cognitive or physical disabilities can come and participate in adaptive swimming. So we do that starting at the end of October, and that will run until the spring. It's a pretty cool program. They will hold meets where the kids get to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a really neat program. But being in the water is really good for Addison because when she's in the water, she can actually stand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a free
It's really
feeling
good.
for her. She's not stuck in her chair. So she loves it. She loves to swim.
And while we were talking, we had another call come in. I think we're just waiting on one call. Is that right? One more call at 608-784-KIDS. I mean, this is probably a record setter for a Thursday. Almost 40 calls coming in. We're at 39. We're going for one more. Addison, we can do it. Can we do it?
Yep.
All right, well, let's do it. It's 608-784-KIDS, 5437. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. We're here with the family, the Tarrence family. Dad's working today. However, it sounds like he's breaking away and making some phone calls. And Uncle Zach, was it?
Yes.
There. He's called in. I think we hit it.
We got it. That's amazing.
There we
That's
go.
so amazing. Like, I think I'm going to cry.
Okay, well, you go ahead and cry. We've cried today. We can cry again. It is amazing, and thank you. And that is a genuine feeling.
It
that
is.
comes up.
It's a very genuine feeling of gratitude and thanks. Even though Addison doesn't have as many issues as some of these other kiddos that we've grown to know since being part of Children's Miracle Network. It's awesome to listen to the radio and hear their stories and relate because we know who these kids are now. But knowing some of the struggles they've gone through, it makes me so happy to know that people are helping them as well, not just Addison. It's great.
Well, and it's great you guys spent some time with us. It really is. And we love keeping track of you. Stay in touch. You guys stay in touch with us?
We will. We'll
All
be
right.
back next year.
Thanks for giving back. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. Put your money where the miracles are. It's a service of the La Crosse Media Group.
Thank you, Joni. Awesome job. 40 calls. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing for Addison, man. That was really good. Keep them coming in, guys, right now. 784-KIDS, 784-5437. We want to thank Addison and her family for the great T-shirts that we got. They're amazing. That's what did it. It was the T-shirts with the holograms. That's what did it right there. Let me tell you right now. That's what did it. It's absolutely beautiful. 784-KIDS, 784-5437. Keep the phones ringing right here on the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals Radiothon on Kicks 106.3.